Morning, ladies and gentlemen, depending on the time you're going to cross this video. Today's question is why bank accounts are closed or blocked. One of my followers asked me this question, but I decided to bring it here so that we can learn from it, all of us. So bank accounts can be blocked, frozen, restricted, or permanent closed for several reasons. Usually the banks does this to protect the customer, comply with laws, prevent fraud, and manage an account that is no longer being used properly. Suspicious or unusual transactions. Bank monitor transactions to identify unusual activity. For example, a large amount suddenly enters the account. Many transfers are made within a short period of time. Money comes from unknown people or countries. The accounts received money that does not match the account's normal activity. Large amounts are withdrawn immediately after being deposited. The bank may temporarily restrict the account while it investigates. For example, if your account normally receives 5,000 to 10,000 dirham per month, but suddenly receives 500,000 dirham from unknown source, the bank may ask you to explain the transaction and provide supporting documents. 2. Money laundering concerns. Banks are legally required to prevent money laundering and other financial crimes. If the bank suspects that an account is being used to move or disguise illegally obtained money, it may restrict the account or report the activity to the appropriate authorities. This does not automatically mean the account holder has committed a crime. It may simply mean the bank needs to investigate the transaction. 3. Fraud or scam activity. An account may be blocked if the bank suspects fraud transfers, stolen card activity, unauthorized transactions, identity safety, scam-related payments. Someone else is using the account. For example, if several customers report that money was transferred to your account as part of a scam, the bank may restrict the account while investigating. 4. Expired or incomplete identification documents. Bank needs updated customer information. An account can be restricted if documents such as passport, MLS ID, residence visa, proof of address, company documents are expired or have been updated when requested. If the bank keeps your identification and banking information updated, is particularly important because banks perform regular customer due diligence checks, court order, and legal instructions. A bank may freeze an account because of legal order, for example, court proceedings, debt-related enforcement, government instructions, investigations by competent authorities, attachment of seizure orders. In such cases, the bank may have limited ability to remove the restrictions until the relevant legal matters is resolved. Unpaid debts or financial obligations. An account can sometimes be restricted because of debts or other illegal or financial obligations, particularly when there is a formal legal or enforcement process. For example, if a person has significant unpaid financial obligations and a competent authority issues an order affecting the bank account, the bank may have to comply. 7. Dormant or inactive account. If you haven't used your bank account for a long time, the bank may classify as dormant or inactive. This is different from the bank suspecting you for wrongdoing. A dormant account may simply require you to contact the bank, verify your identity, update your information, perform an account activity, or follow the bank's reactivation process. Violation the bank's terms and conditions. Banks have rules governing how accounts can be used. Account may be closed if it is repeatedly used in a way that violates the rules. For example, using personal account for unauthorized business activity, providing false information, allowing other people to use your account improperly, repeatedly violating transactions limit or accounts conditions. 9. Account being used as money mule. Money mule. Do you know what is money mule is? A money mule is someone whose bank account is used to receive or transfer money on behalf of another person. That is what we call money mole, often without fully understanding where the money comes from. For example, a person A sends 20,000 dirham to your account and tells you to transfer 18,000 dirham to another person's account while keeping 2,000 dirham. This type of activity can trigger a serious banking concern, especially when the source of fund is unclear. Never follow strangers to use your bank accounts or receive or transfer money for them. 10. Too many failed or suspicious login attempts. Online banking can also be temporarily blocked because of multiple incorrect password, suspicious login attempts, a new device, unusual geographical access, possible account takeover. This is often a security check rather than a bank permanently closing the account. The customer requests account closer. Sometimes the bank account is closed simply because the customer asks the bank to close it. Before closing an account, you normally need to deal with things such as remaining a balance, outstanding fees, loans or credit cards, direct debts, standing orders, checks, and salary payments, etc. etc. Number 12. The bank decided to terminate the relationship. In some circumstances, a bank may decide that it no longer wants to maintain a particular banking relationship subject to applicable law and the account agreement. This can happen because of compliance concerns, risk management, repeated violations of terms, inability to complete required customer verifications, and certain account management issues. The exact reason and notice requirements depend on the circumstances and applicable regulations. Blocked versus frozen versus closed. These terms are important because they don't mean exactly the same thing. Status: blocked / restricted, meaning some or all transactions may temporarily be prevented. Frozen: funds generally cannot be moved until the restrictions is removed if your account is frozen. Dormant: account has had little or no activity for a specific period. Closed: the bank relationship or account has been terminated. Under investigation, the bank is reviewing transactions or circumstances. What should you do if your account is blocked? Step 1. Use the bank official number, customer service number, mobile applications or branch or other official channel. Ask this kind of question. My account has been restricted. Could you please tell me what I need to do to restore access? The bank may not disclose a certain investigation details, but it should tell you that documents or actions are required where it is permitted to do so. Step 2. Check your documents. Make sure your ID, passport, visa, address information, employment information are current, employment information are current where applicable. Step 3. Explain unusual transactions. If the bank asks about transactions, provide genuine supporting evidence such as salary certification, payslip, employment contract, invoice, sale agreement, bank statement from other institutions, proof of transfer, other legitimate source or funds documents. Never create or alter documents to explain transactions, please. Step 4. Don't panic. A restricted account does not necessarily mean that you have committed a crime. Banks sometimes restrict accounts as a precaution while verifying information. Step 5. Don't try to bypass the restriction. Do not open multiple accounts or ask another person to move money for you simply to avoid a bank restrictions that can create additional compliance concern. Simple example. Imagine Mr. X received his normal, or Mr. X receives his normal monthly salary 9,000. One day, 100,000 received from someone he does not know. Immediately after, Mr. A transfers 90,000 dirham to another person's account. The bank monitoring system may identify this as unusual activity. The bank crowd, they have to look at transaction, they have to monitor, they have to review account restriction, request for information, investigation, restriction removed, or further actions. Mr. A can legitimately explain the transaction and provide supporting documents. The bank may remove the restriction. If the transaction raises a serious concern, additional action may be taken. Important not to know. A bank account being blocked does not automatically mean the money is legally or that the customer is guilty of anything. The bank can restrict accounts while they verify transactions, customers' information, fraud concerns, and legal requirements. Why bank accounts? Yes. I think this is enough for today. Thank you for coming, my dear ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. Stay tuned on this channel. So please subscribe, comment, and share.